You're listening to Question Reality. Question Reality with Priscilla Leona.
Hi! Welcome to Question Reality. I'm Priscilla Leona, and we are coming to you live from Los Angeles, California. And for over 20 years, our show has helped people provide... Our panel guests have provided our audience with entertainment industry career advice. And we have a diverse range of people on the show business professionals behind the scenes, and also, of course, in front of the scenes, obviously. Did I say scenes? Should I have said screen? Behind the screen, behind the scenes, in front of the screen. Yes, I think I got it right now. All right, got a little tongue-tied here. But we have people on to basically discuss all stages of their career. So we have people that are professionals such as Oscar nominees, Grammy Award winners, Emmy Award winners, Tony Award winners, reality TV stars. And then we go all the way, once in a while, we will have someone that's just starting out, and we want to know what's going on, what's happening, how are you living, how are you surviving? Give us some tips, advice, and resource information on what you're doing to help others who come here to pursue their dream. Now, if you would like to come on our show, or you'd like to refer someone, we would love to have them. So here's how you do it. Go to our website, which is questionrealityradioshow.com, questionrealityradioshow.com, or you can email me directly at priscillaleona@yahoo.com. And that's it. You just say, hey, what's up, yo? I want to be on that show. I did not mean for that to rhyme, but I'm glad that it did. Now, if you missed any of our archive pages, if you missed any of our shows, they're on archive pages. That's where they are. Here's how you can view them. Obviously, go to the website, questionrealityradioshow.com. You can go to our YouTube channel, which is at Priscilla Leona, LinkedIn, X, TikTok, Priscilla Leona, Facebook page, Priscilla Leona, also Facebook page, Question Reality Radio Show. And one thing I want to tell you real quick is about branding. You hear me talking about it over and over and over and over, but I can't stop talking about it, because when I do, it just seems like somebody does it and I want to scream. When you are starting out as an entrepreneur, you are your own business. Now, hopefully you know that, but you have to think about branding and marketing, and you have to keep it consistent. So please try to keep all of your social media consistent with obviously your name would be ideal, or your film or your book, or whatever you want to stand the test of time, and you want people to be able to find you if they go to Google. That's what you want to brand yourself. It's very important to keep it consistent. And we ask you for a little favor, a little itsy bitsy teeny weeny polka dot bikini. Ooh, I feel like I'm drunk. I'm high on Snickers bar. That's what it is. I'm just going to confess. I got all this Halloween candy left over, and I've been gulping it like a wild banshee, and I feel like I'm just floating, and I feel like I'm high, man. I'm grooving out. But we're going to ask you a favor. If you enjoy this show and our guest on the show, we would love for you to support them by subscribing to their YouTube channel, Facebook page, basically all their social media pages. It's not going to kill you to give a little thumb. You would be surprised at how many people just go and watch video reels and just don't even bother giving a little baby thumb. I'm ashamed of you. Why can't you just give a thumb? It's good karma. It's gonna bring some very good cheese. So please do that. Now, most exciting part of the show. We're moving on. I have known this beautiful, beautiful girl for, I don't know, it feels like 2 decades. I'm not sure exactly what the year was that I met her, but she is from West Virginia, and she came to LA to pursue a career in the entertainment industry. Her name is Heather Nichols, and Heather is a voice. Oh, look at that. Isn't she just gorgeous? That's my favorite picture of her ever. Such personality, and she's a Scorpio like I am, so she can bring the look. She can do the Vogue. Love that. That's my favorite picture. She's a voiceover actor, an on-camera actor, and a host. And she has been nominated 4 times by SOVAS, which is SOVAS, which stands for Society of Voice Arts and Sciences, in the categories of audiobooks, fiction, self-help, teen, and narration e-learning. Yes, my girl, Heather Nicholls. Heather, did I just call her Heather Nicole? Oh my God, that's my cousin's name. I apologize, Heather Nichols. Oh, good. See the picture. She's laughing. She's happy with it. She doesn't mind. Okay. So Heather's improvisation skills were forged in the comedic crucibles of the Groundlings and Second City in LA. And she's appeared on camera in numerous TV shows, films, and web series. And why shouldn't she? Look at that. Beautiful, beautiful girl. As a voice actor, Heather's got a smooth, clear tone, and she has innate conversational flair, and that brings her scripts to life. And she infuses them with authenticity and warmth, because that is who she is as a person. She is a little love bug. I adore her. I'm so happy that we reconnected. Now, she effortlessly, you're going to hear the demo reels, but so what I'm saying, you're going to already know, but she effortlessly adds a human touch to every project. And what that does is that builds a bridge between the brand and the audience. So if you need your stuff, your brand to be bridged, she's the girl for you. Now, if you are interested in pursuing a career as a professional voiceover actor, you can ask Heather questions in the comments section during the live interview tonight. So feel free. I forgot to tell Heather we were going to be interrupted if people are commenting, but I'm sure she's cool with it. Well, see, that voice is like, that picture is like, I'm thinking about it. I don't know if I am or I'm not. Well, we'll see if she's okay with that. So without further ado, let's meet Heather Nichols. Woo, 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 woo.
Hello.
I'm on the wrong side. There I am. I always like being on the right side of the screen. I don't know. Oh my gosh, look at you up in your studio. That looks fancy.
I know. This is my little padded room that I sit in all day.
Wow. And it looks fancy. And what is that? Is that sound cushioning for sound?
Yeah, it's a Studio Bricks booth. So it's a 4-foot by 6-foot booth. So it has a door and everything. So I have my own little soundproof box. I have twin boys, so they're always running around making noise in the house. And mom needed a place to be quiet and work. So this was definitely a necessity. It's one of the best investments I've made for my career.
Wow. I didn't even know you had got married. When I knew you were a hot, sexy single in the city, right? That was like almost 20 years ago. So you're married now and you have, did you say twins?
I do, yes. I am married. I've been married to my husband for almost 15 years. And our twin boys just turned 8. So they keep us very busy.
What? What's your husband's name?
His name's Mike.
Mike, how did you meet Mike?
Funny story. Well, we met at a house party in the Hollywood Hills. Classic
Well, there you
LA love story. No, but we just connected instantly and we've been together ever since we met.
Is he in the entertainment industry?
He is. He's a
What
talent agent.
Well, isn't that the perfect person to marry if you're in the entertainment industry, aspiring actress?
Right. Well, he's not mine. He's not mine. He works with celebrities. He does a lot of Comic-Cons, things like that, a lot of business development too. So he's in a little bit of a different area than me, but we're both in the industry. So we definitely understand, where each other's coming from.
I have so many friends that have booths or make appearances at Comic-Con,
Yeah.
specifically for the Star Trek. Lou Ferrigno Jr.
Nice.
He's always going there, and everybody Star Trek, Vic Mignogna and Jeff Rector, and everybody has a booth over at Comic-Con. So I'm sure he probably knows somebody that I know.
Probably.
Wow, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
So what actually inspired you? Because you were pursuing a different career, I think, when I was. I think maybe singer, maybe.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
You're right. So
singer?
when I first moved to LA, I was pursuing singing partially, but also I was pursuing on-camera acting. And the singing thing, I was doing it, but it just wasn't in my soul, I think. And my real passion has always been acting. That's all I've ever wanted to do since I was 3 years old. And so I really was focusing on camera acting, which I was fortunate to work in for quite a lot of years. And I kind of just fell into voiceover. I was doing it on the side. One of my on-camera agents said, "Hey, if you go get a commercial voiceover demo, I'll start submitting you for voiceover work." And I was like, okay, whatever. Like, I'm an on-camera actor. I don't know about this voiceover stuff. And I got the demo. And I actually started booking some voiceover work pretty quickly. And I was the voice of a doll company for 7 years, which was so much fun. And I just really fell in love with it. And then when I became a mom, it was such a great way for me to continue being an actor, but being able to do it remotely and have that creative outlet while being at home with my kids. So it's been such a great journey for me. I have grown so much in this area, especially in the last 5 years. I've been a full-time voice actor for 5 years, and I love it so much.
Well, how did you naturally find that you were able to do voices, or what kind of training or education did you undergo to hone your skills?
Sure. So I did a lot of coaching back when I did my first demo to prepare for that. And my very first demo was commercial. And so it wasn't as much of the animation character voices. It was a little more straightforward, obviously still acting, but not as off the wall as maybe an animation demo or video game demo would be. And the piece I didn't speak on yet was when my kids were born, I was burnt out on the on-camera acting game. I had gotten really close to a lot of really, really big roles. I had network tested for series regulars 6 times in 2 years. And, you get to this point where you're so excited about it and it's hanging right there. You're in the final 3 people for this life-changing thing, and then it doesn't happen. So I just got burnt out and I stepped away from acting completely when my kids were born. I said, okay, you know what? I'm supposed to focus on this right now. That lasted about 2 months. And then I was like, I need to do something other than change diapers. So what happened was we were talking about Comic-Cons. I had done a hosting job for a Comic-Con years ago on camera. I had kept in touch with the people that owned that company. I knew they were starting a new company. And I said, hey, you're going to need somebody to run social media for your new company. I had a digital marketing agency on the side. I have a degree in marketing, and I had been doing that for years. And so I sent them like a 20-page PowerPoint because I can't help myself. And they hired me, and it was initially to be part-time social media. It was remote, so I was able to be with my kids. And within a couple of months, I was running all marketing, PR, social media, all the things for the whole company.
Wow.
So I did that for 4 years. I was the head of marketing for this major Comic-Con producer. And to go back to your question, I think that led me into the corporate narration space in voiceover because I was on the other side of that process for a while. I was writing commercial scripts, I was hiring voice actors, and it gave me a really interesting perspective to come back to the actor side and have seen kind of behind the curtain, so to speak, of what that process is like, what is engaging. I was getting sent explainer videos pitching me whatever platforms or marketing things that are out there. And I was like, I can do that. I could voice that.
Yeah.
And I speak that language now too. I understand the overall scope of a marketing campaign. I understand what they're trying to convey. And so I kind of really started pursuing corporate voiceover, and I started booking pretty quickly. And thankfully, and I started with a $100 USB mic in my closet.
Hold on one sec.
And
Manny saying, hi, Heather. We got
hi,
a new
Manny.
fan.
Hi.
Okay. You'll be getting it throughout, so be
I
prepared.
love it.
Right, go ahead.
I love it. Bring it. Yeah, so I started out in my closet, as many voice actors do. You don't have to have all of this.
Why is that? I heard that. Why a closet?
Well, the clothes are really great sound absorbers. So because of all the cloth, it works.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Who knew that? That's
know.
amazing. Wow. Okay. All right. So you had a light in there, and what else did you have in there?
Yeah, we had a nice walk-in closet. So I set up a desk, and I had my computer, and I had a little foam, like portable booth box, which, it's not what I would necessarily recommend for everyone, but it worked for me.
It worked for you.
It worked for me. It got me started. And I started just kind of direct marketing and booking things through my agents, and was off to the races. And then as I started making some money, I was able to reinvest in my business and upgrade my equipment and eventually get the booth.
Wow. I heard that about going in a closet. I didn't believe that. And now I find out it's true. Now, we are about to, I want to get right into it because people are going to go crazy when they see your skills, because I think you might be one of the few people that are naturally gifted at voices, because it's not like you went to some elaborate voice training schools. I don't even know if they have that for voiceovers, but I do know from having a lot of friends who do voiceovers that apparently it's a very hard occupation to get into. I heard it's very clicky. We're going to talk about that, what you're feeling. I have actually a friend in Chicago right now who is probably watching because he saw you were going to be on the show, and he heard your demo reel. He said, Jesus Christ superstar, I have to talk to her. Can she be my coach? And I said, well, I don't know if she does coaching, but
I do.
Ask her, tune in and ask her yourself. But he just is blown away.
Aww.
So I think that you, from me listening to all these different voices, you are so natural, and you just seamlessly go in and out and in and out, and commercial and drama and animation and this and that. And I just said, no one's going to believe it until they see her demo reels. So I just want to get that started. Normally that would be in the latter part of my show, but I have to show it now. We're going to show it when we come back. I want to ask you to discuss the importance of multiple demo reels, because people just starting out, they tell me, and this is very sad, but they say that people who are coaching or voiceover actors are very chenchy with knowledge and skills and tips, and they won't tell them, okay, step 1, you do this, step 2, you do that. So they don't want to tell. I don't know why people are like that. I mean, the more knowledge you have, you should feel gifted and share it personally. But we're going to watch a couple of your demo reels. And when we come back, oh, wait, the executive producer is saying, what is he saying in the middle of the interview? Huh? What? There's a technical glitch. Okay, we'll keep talking. Apparently, there's a technical glitch. I don't know what's happening in the control room, but we'll discuss that when we come back. So, how do you? It seems like it's a very complicated process to do the voiceover thing. But I would think personally, for me, it would be the greatest thing because I have friends who are celebrities who say, Priscilla, oh, no, 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 no. I go in with my flip-flops and my shorts and my sweatshirt. I'm in there 45 minutes and I'm out on the script. And they say, if I would have known, I would have done this years ago. You know, a lot of my friends actually who are celebrities say they are going to be chained. Oh, that's sad because they're going to be taking all the gigs from the regular act. But they're saying, you know what? We want all the gigs now. We want all the voiceover gigs because it takes such a short amount of time. I think, and maybe you can explain this, they do say that doing ADR is a part that they dread. So first tell us, what is ADR and how is it used in film and television and commercial?
Sure. It's automated dialogue replacement is what that stands for. And basically it's in a film or TV show when the sound, maybe there's a truck that went by during one of the actor's lines, or there's some extraneous noise that they don't want in the final project, then they have the actor go in and basically you're dubbing yourself. You're dubbing your own performance. So you're doing voiceover and trying to match the exact performance that you gave on camera, and they will use that new audio to overwrite whatever the error was in the original. So it is doing voiceover. It's really a fun process because it's fun. You get to try and match what you did before and try and get in that headspace that you were in on that day. It could have been months ago that you did the on-camera portion, but it is voiceover. So it's interesting that, you know, people have a negative feeling about it because I always thought it was fun.
Isn't that also called looping? Is that called looping as well?
It's similar. Looping is a little bit different, but it's kind of in the same vein. So looping is more background noises. So it's like in a scene where you'll hear kind of people talking in the background. Maybe they're on the sidewalk. You see the people, but you're not seeing their mouths. Like you're not seeing them as a main focus of the scene. So it's just kind of extra background noise.
So basically, as a voiceover actor, you go into the studio, they give you the script. Tell me what the process is, like from beginning to end. What do you do?
Sure. For looping specifically, typically you do that in person. A lot of voiceover nowadays is remote. So you're recording in your own home studio. You're either connecting with someone on what's called Source Connect, which is where a studio can record you on their end, but you're actually sitting in your own studio, or you'll do it on Zoom or Teams or whatever, or you're just doing it on your own time and sending them the files. But for looping specifically, a lot of times you go onto a soundstage, they will show you a scene on the screen and they will kind of explain what they're looking for. Like, okay, this scene is in New York City in Times Square, go. And they don't give you a whole lot of direction. You have to really improvise and make it up as you go and look at what you see on the screen and think, okay, I'm going to be that little girl right there. And I'm going to lower my voice and I'm going to sound like a kid. And I'm going to be in Times Square. And oh, mommy, look at the lights. And I want to go see the Lion King. You know, it's things like that of kind of finding those little background things. And you're not going to hear that as a main focus, you know, in the scene, but they will be potentially heard, you know, by the audience. It's just not the main dialogue.
Right. Okay. So if you got cast for a role in a commercial doing as a narrator, I guess, because the actors would be in the commercial. Sure. So you would be narrating. Take us through the process. You go in. What can a person expect to do?
So it depends on whether it's in studio or at home. Like I said, a lot of work, especially post-pandemic, is remote, which is really nice because then you don't have to worry about driving somewhere and parking and all those things. But if you're going in studio, you may have the script ahead of time, but you have to be prepared that when you walk into the studio, they may give you a completely updated script and you have to go with it. And you can't let that throw you off. The same can happen in a remote session at home. I've been in directed sessions where I'll hop on a Zoom and I'll have been sent a script maybe the day before, the day of, and they'll say, oh, actually, we just rewrote the whole script. So you can't really go in expecting, you can't over practice. You have to just be in the moment and go with the flow. And it's really important to be able to pivot and take direction and just kind of take in a new script quickly. Remember what you did in the audition that got you there, because you want to recapture that tone, that pacing, whatever you did in the audition, that's what got you in that room for that job.
That's
So
right.
try to keep that in mind. But yeah, then they give you the script. You maybe have a minute or two to look over it. Usually you'll do a rehearsal once or twice, and then you just go for it. And sometimes they'll break it up into sections and they'll say, okay, let's just do the first paragraph and then we'll stop. Or they'll say, give me an ABC take. And what that means is you'll do that one section 3 times in a row. And then if they're satisfied, they'll say, okay, great. I like take B on that one. Let's move on to the next one. And a lot of times they are editing in real time as you're doing the job. So there may be an engineer sitting there who's saying, who's writing down and copying take B that you just did and pasting it in the final. And then they'll take C of the second paragraph and put that in. So they're kind of Frankensteining it together as you're doing it, which is really fun to be part of.
Is that a process that's for all the mediums, like commercial, film, television, or is there anything different that you would do for film?
Yeah, with film and TV, it's more fluid. I feel like it's less technical. Commercial, they're trying to hit these certain beats and they only have a very finite amount of time in order to do that and convey their message. Usually it's 15 seconds, 30 seconds, or 60 seconds that they have for a commercial spot. So it's much more technical with commercials in terms of the engineering aspect. With TV and film, it's more about the performance. Yes, you probably do have some time constraints or some kind of timing that you're trying to hit, or if you're trying to match lip movements, something like that, if you're dubbing or doing animation, sometimes that can be a factor, but oftentimes with TV and film, especially anything in animation, it's all about the performance. That's the most important thing.
Wow, amazing. Okay, I've been told that we are ready. The glitch has been fixed.
All right.
So without further ado, let's see this most amazing special human being who can do all these things, all these vocal acrobatics with her voice. And when we come back, we're going to say, how the hell did you do that, Heather? So take it away.
Home to the spaces you love. At Grandin Road, find home furnishings and decor that help make every moment from have a seat to let's eat exactly what you want it to be. It's time to love where you live. Visit us now at grandinroad.com. Burbank Mazda has the one you've been looking for, the fully redesigned Miata MX-5. It's got your name all over it. View our entire summer lineup at burbankmazda.com.
Have you seen us lately? Check out the hottest beauty products, both iconic and new. The coolest collabs with some of the biggest brands. With the newest in clean beauty, so you get more of the ingredients you want and none of the ones you don't. This is Avon like you've never seen before.
Legacy Cadillacs set the bar for luxury, designed exclusively for the discerning buyer. Legacy Cadillac. Artistry, craftsmanship, and sophistication that define the Cadillac brand.
With parenting in a pandemic, you just take it one step at a time. And there have been some mighty challenging steps. Now's the time to take the biggest step of all. The Pfizer COVID-19 vaccine for children is here.
Undo damage and regrow thicker, fuller, healthier hair, guaranteed at Karenique.com.
We are honored to have been ranked best in customer satisfaction in retail banking in Illinois by J.D. Power. Members FDIC. For J.D. Power 2022 award information, visit jdpower.com/awards.
Yoo-hoo! Frankensteins! My twins can come over tomorrow. You know how cranky they can get when there's a full moon. The howling! Oh, there my little wolfies are now.
Our apparatus has to cradle the egg in such a way that it diverts the kinetic energy away from the egg at the point of impact. And then bam! That's the scientific equation for the perfect omelet. Just don't forget the cheddar.
So, hey, buddy. I know things got a little weird yesterday, but I think in the end, everything worked out okay. I mean, I know my wand set the school on fire, but we can still have class in the parking lot, so we're good. Right?
Someday, the world will be mine. I have it penciled in for next Tuesday.
You're my babysitter, and my mama told me you have to do everything I say. Now you get down here and clean this poo off my shoe.
The former Miss Blueberry Pie Festival does not clean poo for anyone.
I'm telling!
Finally, my chance to make up for the snowball debacle. They want a spring fling. I'll give them the best one ever, right in their faces.
This message will self-destruct in 3, 2, 1.
Here are the top 5 things you need to have in place for your business as a professional voice actor. All right, so I do this as my career. I am a full-time voice actor. This is my business, and I'm not doing this for free. So that being said, you need to make sure you have easy ways for your clients to pay you. You need to have a business PayPal account set up. You need to have multiple ways for them to pay you via credit card. Are you working with international clients? You need to take that into account. Can you accept wires? Can you accept ACH? You might want to set up a special business bank account. That's what I did. I don't have all my business income coming into my personal account because that would just be a nightmare come tax time. So I do have a separate account for my business, and it's been really helpful. So these are things that you need to think about before you really start working as a voice actor. Many times before you can get paid, you need to ask to be paid officially, which means you need to generate an invoice. So if you don't know how to do that, you need to figure it out. You need to have an invoice that looks professional. There's tons of templates out there. It's so easy at this point to find these resources. So there's really no excuse for not knowing how to do it and not being able to make it look professional. I tend to use Wave. It's waveapps.com. It's really easy to use. It turns out really nice. I can put my logo on there, my color, my branding, and I just really like it. So I recommend that one. When it's time for you to share your files with the client, you need to make sure you're able to do it in a way that they can receive it. Because I have a client, for example, that I did a few spots for this morning, and they cannot receive attachments on their email from an outside source. So I have a Google Drive. I have all of my business on the Google platform. And so I use Google Drive all the time. You can use Dropbox, whatever works for you. But you need to have a way to upload your files somewhere that you can send a link to your client in case they can't accept attachments. If you are treating this like a real business, then you need to set up an EIN and be able to have a W-9 for your business so that you're not giving your W-9 for you personally. That's also gives you a little bit of security because you're not having to provide your personal social security number to every single client that you work with. So you need to make sure you do that before you get your clients because it can take some time. The last thing we'll talk about today is having a contract or agreement template that you can use with your new clients. If they don't provide you one, then that's going to be on you. You need to lay out the terms of your agreement. That should include the usage of your voice, when, where, how your voice will be used, for how long, and you need to take that into consideration when you are quoting your rate. So these are things that you need to have in place. I help my coaching clients with this all the time, creating contracts and agreements, things like that. So if you need help with that, let me know. I hope this helps. Follow for more tips.
Oh my God, see, girl, you have got it together.
Thank you.
I mean, see, most people I would imagine focus on, oh, who's this? Manny. Oh, he said, wow. Okay.
Thanks, Manny. Thank
wow.
you.
Wow to you, Manny. But you gave such wonderful tips. And I don't know why people don't realize, not everybody, I'm saying in general, that a lot of actors don't realize they are an entrepreneur and they are a business, and they need to be thinking about the business aspects of, even if they have an agent and they're sent out, they should be keeping a logbook. How much money did they spend on gas? How much mileage? A lot of them don't even realize they can write this off on their taxes. They don't have any idea of the basic business practices. And what I liked about you is that you include tips. And I think that if someone came to you to be coached, I think that they can ask questions of you, not just, hey, how do I talk like, Porky Pig, but, can you tell me, is that included in your sessions, or do you have a separate session for business questions?
Yeah, it kind of depends on the person. I kind of structure my individual coaching with whatever someone needs. If they just need business coaching, we can do that. If they just need performance coaching, we can do that. If they need both, great. We'll do a little of both. I think because of my background in the business world and having a marketing company for many years, I, hopefully have some good tips that I have, tried and throughout the years that have been successful. And I just like to give people some tips that I wish someone would have told me sooner. And if I can help someone else launch their career and be as happy as I am to get to do what I love every single day, I'm so happy to do that. That is fulfilling to me. I do love coaching. I just started doing that kind of last year because people kept coming to me wanting advice. And I thought, you know what? Maybe I should actually formalize this a little bit and offer this as a service. So I'm happy to be able to do that.
Well, I think logically that if I were to pursue becoming a voiceover actor, I think I would come to you first and say, Heather, I want to learn about the business aspect first before I just start doing the demo reel and trying to get, because then you're going to be, what if you're good and you all of a sudden you're getting all kinds of work and you're not set up for it? Like you said, you don't have an EIN number, you don't have a bank account, you don't know how to do this. And then you're going to be overwhelmed and you're going to really feel crushed. So I think people should come to you to get the basics of how to get set up, because it is a very lucrative profession. And what was great was, I don't know if you were working as a voiceover actor during COVID, but if something ever happens again, God forbid, a voiceover actor is going to get the work. They're going to get the work, because you can do it remotely, which ideally the studios want everybody to do everything remotely. But so don't you think that's a good way to get the business aspect locked down first before you go off?
Oh, 100%. And I actually teach group classes on this in addition to doing individual coaching. I actually have one starting tomorrow. So if anyone's interested, I think we have maybe one spot left. It's with Voice Masters, and it's a class that I created with one of the co-founders of Voice Master, Paulette Lifton, who is a multiple Emmy Award-winning sound designer, sound director. She's incredible. And in that class, we talk a lot about branding, how to pitch. We're actually adding in Michaela Hicks, who is a very well-known voiceover agent. She's been an agent for many, many years. And I think she's going to bring a really great perspective to the class on what agents look for, what is effective in a pitch email, what is effective in a demo, from an agent's point of view, that'll kind of catch their ear and make them want to sign someone. So that's a 4-week class that starts tomorrow.
Is that on Zoom?
It is on Zoom, correct. So you can be anywhere in the world.
And where would they find out more information? Heather Nichols, VO.com?
Yeah, you can go there, or you can go to voice-masters.com and see all the classes that they have there. I teach 3 classes there with Voice Masters, and that's one of them, the business of voiceover. Another one is Voiceover 101, which is a class we created last year that it's 4 weeks. Each week you focus on a different genre of voiceover, and you kind of get a little sampler of different areas to kind of see what you're interested in and see what you'd like to pursue further. And my other class, which is just my class, is Narration, and that covers corporate narration, e-learning, and audiobooks.
Yeah, because you were nominated for all of these categories, and a lot of people don't realize that you have to have slightly different skill sets to do them. Can you tell me the categories that you were nominated for the awards and what they entail, how they're different?
Sure. So last year, I was so fortunate to be nominated for 4 SOVAS Voice Arts Awards. I was absolutely shocked. 3 of them were audiobooks. One was Teen, which is a book geared toward teenagers, fiction. One was just straight fiction, so that's kind of a broader category. One was self-help, which was great. It was about turning chaos into calm and kind of finding the calmness in your life, which we all need. And then it was also e-learning. And I just, I guess it was a week ago, got nominated for this year for the SOVAS for e-learning. So I'm
Wow!
so
Oh,
happy.
congratulations! Well, you should be. It seems like it's a very hard industry to break into. I'm constantly hearing from my actor friends that and I only like to focus on the positive and the happy, but I do have them saying, "Oh, Priscilla, I tried so hard, but it's so clicky and people only ask their friends and there's nepotism and this and that." But when you look at Ron Howard and Scorsese and all the top directors, and they get chastised for only hiring the same people. Well, I'm sorry, I would do the same thing, because if you find a group of people that do what you want them to do and they do it professionally and they do it great, why would you not want to hire them again and again and again? So can you tell me about this mysticism around voiceover actors and the click and this and that?
Yeah, I do think there's a bit of a misconception about that. I think some people kind of use it as an excuse to not even try and not put themselves out there. And of course it exists a little bit. It's going to
In
exist in any industry.
everything, in
Exactly.
every field of
Correct. So, but the thing with voiceover is, yeah, you can just tell yourself, oh, well, it's just clicks. Why should I even try? That doesn't mean you can't become part of the click.
That's right.
You need to put yourself out there. You need to network. You need to figure out who are the people that are working consistently in the area I want to work in, and how do I connect with them and maybe learn from them. And I think it's so important. I've started going to voiceover conferences the last couple of years, which has been really beneficial for me. I've connected with so many amazing voice actors, and there are people out there, these marketing gurus, who will say, oh, don't waste your time, connecting with other voice actors because they're not the ones who can hire you. I beg to differ. I have booked multiple jobs from referrals from other voice actors who maybe couldn't do that particular job. Or they just weren't the right fit, and they were asked to maybe find someone who was a better fit for that specific job. So, and also, why wouldn't you want that community? We work in a silo. We work in a, single padded room by ourselves most of the time. And I just think it's so important to connect with other people in the industry. And if you are willing to put in the effort, you take the group classes, you meet people, you go to conferences, whatever that is for you that you're able to do, I think it's possible. You can absolutely get into these cliques, so to speak, and create your own clique. Who cares?
Yeah. I was always a part of a clique because I started my own damn clique.
Exactly.
Everybody wanted to be in my clique. I was like, you're going to be in the hottest clique if you're in my clique. But don't be down on yourself.
No.
And it's absolutely true. I have lots of friends who are voiceover casting directors, and they always call the same people back who were positive and said, oh, because sometimes things get canceled, as you know, last minute and everything. And the voiceover actor says, oh, it's okay, it's all right, maybe next time. And you stay positive and upbeat and professional, you'll get called back. Question: what has been your favorite project to work on, and why?
Oh my goodness, I've had so many amazing experiences. One was probably one of the audiobooks that I was nominated for last year at the SOVAS. It was the one that was nominated in the category of fiction, and it was just a really cool story. It's called Mary Poser. It's on Audible for anybody that wants to check it out. But I got to have so much fun creating a lot of different characters. So that was a really great challenge for me. What's really funny about that project is I tried so hard not to take on this project. project. I walked away at least twice thinking I couldn't do it. I thought this is too much for me. I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if I can do all of these accents well enough for what they're asking. And the guy said, I really think you'd be a great fit. I love your voice, blah, blah, blah. And I said, okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do a sample of these different accented characters before I sign on. And you tell me if it's okay.
Oh, I love that.
If you like it. And then if you're happy, then I will take it on, because it was like a 16-hour book or something. It was not a small project. It was a big project. And so before I kind of locked into it, I wanted to really make sure I was the right fit, not just for myself, but for them as well. If I'm going to take on a project, I want to make it as good as it can be.
Of course.
So, but it was so much fun. I ended up having a blast. He was wonderful to work with. The author was, and so supportive. And I was able to do like New York accent, British, Southern. I mean, Southern's no problem because I'm from West Virginia, so I could pull that out anytime. But it was so much fun. It was such a fun challenge. And it really taught me a lesson of just kind of not being scared and having that confidence to just jump in and go for it. And then it paid off with a nomination for an award. So, yeah.
Now, my question is, how do you figure out what to charge for that? Because if you had to do all those characters, how are you the person who breaks down what you're going to be paid? Or does that person say, here's the budget, I need you to do 5 characters and this is what I'm going to pay you, take it or leave it?
Yeah, it depends on the project, and every genre is a little bit different. With audiobooks, typically they are charged in a per finished hour type of format, or royalty share, which means you're getting a percentage of sales. So per finished hour means you're getting a flat rate for every finished hour of audio that book entails. So if it's a 16-hour book, you're getting whatever. SAG minimum is $250 per finished hour. It can go up from there. And you have the right to negotiate that. You can, negotiate up to whatever you want. And so there are rate guides out there. The Global Voice Acting Academy, GVAA, is a great rate guide for not as much audiobooks, but it does have audiobooks on there, but it's more for every kind of genre. So it has commercials, corporate, e-learning, industrial, animation, all the different types of voiceover. There are these great rate guides. That's the one I always recommend.
Can you say it again?
GVAA, Global Voice Acting Academy. And they have some amazing resources in general. I am not affiliated with them. I'm just passing it along. Right. But they have a really great rate guide that I always recommend in my classes that my students, familiarize themselves with. And that's kind of where I start from. And then it depends how many characters are there. How complex is it? Is it a nonfiction project where there's a lot of technical language? Maybe it's an e-learning project that is, in the medical field and there's a lot of medical jargon. You can charge more for that because you're going to have to take the time to do your research and know how to say what you need to say appropriately and sound like an expert in that field.
Right. Those medical words, I mean, they can be 6, 7 is it syllables? Yeah. Syllable can be like a long ass word. Oh my God. And to be able to make it sound like you know what you're doing, my God, that's got to take extra time.
Yeah. And creating these characters in fiction, I think it's just so fun, and it's like a game to me, and you have to figure out not only how to differentiate the characters so that the listener will know when someone new is speaking in the book, but also that you can sustain for 16 hours. So I'm always, talking about this in my classes of if you have an off the wall character voice that's so fun, but it kills your throat, don't do that on a character that you have to sustain for hours and hours. Or even an animation, that's the same thing. If you're on a series, that series could go for 10 years. And if that is hurting your vocal cords or it's straining you to do that voice, that's not the voice you should be doing.
Right. Like The Simpsons, that's been on 33 years.
Yeah. So you have to think about the long game with this type of thing, especially in long form narration like audiobooks, like e-learning, or animation too. I mean, because like you said, that can go on for decades. So when you're establishing characters, it is important to make sure that it's coming naturally to you. It may not be a natural voice, but if you can create it in a way that doesn't harm your body and your instrument, then that's what you want to shoot for.
Yeah, my friend Jim Meskimen, he's the son of Happy Days. Now you're very young, so I don't know if you remember a sitcom in the 70s called Happy Days. But his mom was Mrs. C, Marion Ross.
Oh, cool.
He's a professional celebrity impersonator. And I don't know if you've heard him, but oh my God, if you turn your head, you think that it's whatever the character is, whoever he is, you think that's who you're talking to. So I went to see one of his shows. He often has shows called Jim Impressions, and because his name's Jim Messick. And I am sitting in the front row, and to the right, I am looking at this woman because I'm listening to her voice, and I said, why do I know that voice? I mean, it wasn't clicking right away because she wasn't doing the character voice, but she was one of Jim's best friends, and it turns out it was Nancy Cartwright who does Bart Simpson.
Cool.
So I got to meet her, and I'm like, how do you sustain that voice? So she basically said exactly what you said. I said, I run into a lot of people who want to do voiceover work, and what tips can I give them? And she said exactly what you said. If this voice is straining and you're going to eventually get polyps, she said, on vocal cords, and you can strip it. She said, then voiceovers are not for them to get another job. But exactly what you said. So Nancy Cartwright agrees. Miss Bart Simpson herself. Yes. Take that to the bank.
All right.
Now, what is there a particular character that you voiced that you were so proud of, and you think that is just, I don't care what anybody says, that voice of that character I'm most proud of? So who was it?
There's this character called Star Butterfly that I have on my demo, and she's just the cutest little thing ever, and she's like a little fairy princess, and I'm totally using this voice in an audiobook I'm doing right now.
Wow, that's so good! You sound just like the cutest little. You sound like one of those. What were those little blue people that were very popular?
The Smurfs?
Teletubbies.
Oh,
like a little blue Teletubby. Oh my God, that's fantastic! That's amazing to me how you can just be talking in your normal voice and you can automatically just switch right into a character. So, what did you say you're doing? Are you voicing her now?
Well, there is a character. So I'm currently narrating a 6-book audio series, which is so much fun. And it's in a new genre for me. It's in kind of the fantasy genre. And I'm loving it. It's called Cocktails in Hell, the series is. And it's focused on this girl who is a bartender. She owns a bar at the portal between hell and earth. And
I love it already. It's very supernatural to me.
It's very supernatural. And there is a fairy in this series that's kind of throughout the series. And she just is so cute, a little thing. And I just did this voice for her. But then I have to be like the voice of the devil. And he's like kind of, low and scary. And he has a little bit of an accent too. Because he's
how do you do that's oh my gosh. Okay. So like Nancy did Bart Simpson, but he is a boy. Yeah. So she can do that high, voice and still get away with it. But how, as a female, do you do a male character like the devil?
Yeah.
I mean, how do you prepare for that?
It's really about placement. It's kind of thinking like a singer. And when you're singing a high note, you're up here kind of in your voice. You're up in your head voice. But for a male character, I go down into my chest voice. So it's about that placement of where it's coming from. And it's also not just about, your vocal pitch, you can change the characters with, vocal qualities. It could be maybe like it's a raspy kind of thing, or it's, got a little bit of a vocal fry on it, or pacing too, you can change. But I always, for male characters, just kind of go in a little bit deeper of a voice, just to differentiate. But yeah, it's just kind of playing around
That
with
strain,
that
as you were saying, does that strain you personally doing the male voices, or is that just
No, I mean, I can do one where it's like super low like this, and that if I was doing this for like a really long time, it might strain it a little bit. So I might do it a little up here where it's just up like a step. But it as long as it's differentiated, that's the most important thing, especially in an audiobook where you're voicing multiple characters. Maybe they're even talking to each other. That's a fun one when you have multiple characters in conversation, and you have to be all parts of that conversation and make it sound different for each one so the listener can follow along. That's tricky, but it's
Do
fun.
you do that separately? I mean, you do the voice of the one character, and then you do it separate, or you're not looking at a page, you go, but I'm here now. Why am I here? I'm here. Do you do it like that where you're reading and you just switch off right then and there, or do you come back?
Usually I kind of am a ping pong ball, so I just kind of go and just I'm able to flip the switch. Or if there's a really tricky voice, maybe I'll pause for a second and do that one by itself or something. But typically, I just kind of go for it.
But if it's 5 characters, how do you remember what, say, the first character's voice did?
In
How do
long
you
term,
remember?
well, for me, what I do, I have a system. And Scorpio, organized system. So I have a folder on my computer where the first time a character speaks in an audiobook, I will copy that line and I will save it in this character reference folder with their name. And anytime I forget what I've done, I can go back and listen to what I did the first time, and then I just can get right back into it. If I just write descriptors, some people will do that. They'll just say, hi, squeaky, whatever. That could mean 10 different things. So I need to hear what I've done, and then I can just, oh, great, I can just get right back into it.
Oh, that's a good tip. Now, what are some of the biggest challenges you faced in your career overall? Not just voice.
One of the things is figuring out how to get myself out there and in front of the people who can hire me. And that's part of the reason I started coaching and teaching these business classes, because understanding the marketing side is so important. And I think secondly, for voiceover specifically, it was the engineering side. That was tough because for many years, when I was first doing voiceover years ago, I didn't even audition at home. I would go into my agent's office. They had a studio there, and I would audition there. They would do whatever they did to the file and send it off to casting. And then if I booked a job, I would go into a studio. I would do it there. I didn't have to edit. I didn't have to engineer. I didn't have to know how to set up and work all of this equipment. That was tough for me at first. I mean, thankfully, I'm pretty good with, I'm pretty tech savvy in general, or at least I like to tell myself that. But I was able to figure it out. But I do wish I would have had maybe a bit more guidance in that earlier in my career. And that's partly, we talk about that in like the business classes and in my coaching and stuff too. Thank you, Manny. That's so nice. Love Melissa Rausch. But so I think that tech engineering side was a bit of a learning curve that I wasn't expecting, because as an actor, you just want to focus on the performing. You want to focus on the acting and the voice and that kind of training. But it's so important to know this side as well, because now we're expected to be a one-stop shop as a voice actor. You have to be your own engineer. You have to be your own accountant. You have to be your own marketing department, graphic design, social media, all of these things we have to do ourselves. So you need to understand how to be a well-rounded business and entrepreneur. And I think that's been, more of a learning process as I've kind of grown in the business.
Now, with so many voiceover actors and the celebrities trying to get in on your game, how do you stay competitive and relevant in the voiceover industry?
I really think it's just persistence. It's being persistent, doing the training, putting in the work. They're ultimately, yeah, sometimes a celebrity is going to get cast because they need it to sell the project. And that's just part of the business. And that's always going to be there. And it is what it is. You just have to accept it. But all you can control is what you are doing. So if you put in the work, you do the training, you network, you're marketing yourself, you're letting people know that you exist. I mean, how do you expect to get work if nobody knows that you're there, you
What are
know?
you going to do?
Yeah.
You've got a lot of actors, as you well know, actually people in entertainment, singers too. They love the craft, the doing, but they hate networking and marketing themselves on social media.
Yeah.
And they leave so many gaps for their fan base. They could be discovered by that one time you didn't network or market yourself on social media. And explain how important that is. I know that you want to focus on your craft, but you also, as a business, you have to do it.
Yeah, I mean, think about as a consumer yourself. If you are interested in a product or a service and you start to research them before you decide to buy into whatever they're selling, aren't you going to look at their website? You're going to look at their social media. You're going to Google them. If they don't show up, you're going to think, oh, they must not be real. This is a scam. You know, this isn't a real company. I don't know if I want to give them my money. It's the same for you as a performer. You need to look like a business. You are conducting business to business transactions most of the time. You are a business. The casting director or producer is a business. So you need to conduct yourself as a business. And in this day and age, if you are a business and you do not exist online, you don't exist, period.
That's right.
So it's so important. And I've booked a lot of work from my people seeing my social media. I've booked audiobooks. I've booked corporate jobs. I've booked commercials because people saw me posting and I let them know that I exist and what my capabilities are. It's not a guarantee that if you put, these materials out there that you'll get hired, but it's certainly part of the game. And if you have the training, you have the marketing materials together, then you're putting them out into the world. It's only going to help you move forward.
Right. And if you don't absolutely want to do it because you hate it more than life itself, get somebody to do it for you. You got a mother, a father, a sister, a brother, an aunt, an uncle, a cousin, bake them some banana bread or do something nice for them and have them do it for you. You got to start building your team as well and your support system. So you're not an island, people. You got to have people to help you. Now, with all this stuff going on, I guess I'm thinking, how the heck, Heather, do you balance your personal life with your work life, especially in this unpredictable nature of voice acting?
It's hard. I'm not going to lie and say it's easy. It's not. It's really about being detail oriented. It's about creating a schedule for myself and thinking, okay, while my kids are in school, I have this amount of time. I need to get this many chapters done in my audiobook today, and really just buckling down and focusing on that. But you know what? Sometimes things happen. Sometimes a kid is sick and home from school, or, I'll get a dubbing job like I did the other day. I was in the middle of doing an e-learning job right here, and I get a call that says, hey, can you come 3 hours earlier? And I said, I'm on my way. So it just...
Hey, kids, stay in the trunk and be quiet. Sorry.
Thankfully, my husband and I both own our own companies. We both work from home. So very, very fortunate to be in that situation. I do not take it for granted. But it's hard. You just have to really figure it out. And sometimes after my kids go to bed, if I have a job that's due the next day, I'm back in the booth at 10 p.m. if I have to be. But that's kind of the great part about it too, because if I am up against a deadline, then I can do it on my own time as long as I meet that deadline. If I want to go take a couple hours and volunteer at my kid's school like I did 2 days ago, I'm able to do that. And I love the flexibility of owning my own business and being able to do that. There are times when it's not as flexible. If I have a directed session or something in studio, of course, I'm kind of at the mercy of that production.
Right.
But most of my work is on my own time in my own studio. So I'm
Yeah.
able to kind of be flexible around what is needed from my family and kind of balance it that way.
And that is a perk, people, of being a voiceover actor as
Yeah.
opposed to a regular actor. Now, do you have just maybe one interesting or funny story that you can share with us that happened to you in the recording booth? Something funny must have happened.
Well, there have been times where, like one time, this is a good one. So the first audiobook that I ever booked, I had no business doing, to be honest.
Okay.
It was when I was in my closet booth. And I took it on, I could do that. Sure, no problem. I did not understand the different tech specs that are required for audiobooks. It's a very different process than any other type of voiceover in terms of the engineering. I was like crying at 2 o'clock in the morning, going down YouTube rabbit holes, trying to figure out how to get the RMS level to where it needed to be. I was like, I don't even know what an RMS level is. Like, what do they say? What do you want from me? So that was an interesting experience. But you know what? I got through it and the client was happy, and that's all that matters. But oh boy, was it a struggle. I was
Right.
on the
Right.
struggle bus. But
Oh,
yeah, it was tough.
wow. And you were off camera and we were talking briefly before the interview. And this might be inspiring to people who don't have a budget and may need to start the way you started. You
Yeah.
were telling me that you got started literally in a closet. I thought that was a joke that people say because I've heard it before. Please tell us, if you're starting out, you don't have a lot of money, what can you do in the closet?
So, yeah, there's a lot of ways you can really get started with a voiceover space without having to invest in the full booth situation. The closet is honestly where a lot of voice actors get started. I did as well. And part of the reason is because the clothing in there, all that cloth, is very absorbent for the sound. So it creates kind of a more soundproof space, especially if you have a carpeted floor. And it's a kind of enclosed space. There's not a lot of echo. The main thing with voiceover and soundproofing, you don't want a lot of hard materials around you that will echo the sound, and you don't want a big open space because then you just sound like you're in a big open space on the microphone. It will pick up everything. So being in a closet can be a good start, or there are a lot of tutorials out there too. You can kind of create your own booth with moving blankets, which are very sound absorbent, and PVC pipe. So there's like tutorials out there. You can build your own booths. There's also some kind of prefab, like pre-made booths that you can get that are kind of portable. So if you're in an apartment or something and you can't really have something that's got to stay there forever, you can get something like a tri booth, which is a kind of newer product on the market that is a collapsible booth that is apparently really effective. I know a lot of people have used it with great results.
A tri booth. Wow. I think I saw something, I think an ad's going around for one of those on
Yeah,
Facebook.
could be.
Uh, I don't know what the heck, but I heard they're really expensive. But if anything you find, you can go on Amazon and find something that'll meet your budgetary needs.
Yeah.
Now, what advice would you give to someone who is aspiring to become a voice actor?
I would say get the acting training and also get the voice acting specific training. So, any kind of voiceover that you do, there is acting involved. Even the corporate narration that I do, I talk about this all the time. People think, oh, that's just reading. Anybody, you could just do that if you have a nice voice. Oh, I should just get into voiceover. It's more than that. You are embodying the voice of a brand, the voice of a product, and you have to use that actor brain to put yourself in that position and become an expert in something that maybe you've never even heard of before. And so I think the acting training is very important. And I do think that the mic technique and the voice acting specific technique is really important. So I always recommend doing coaching, whether it's with me or someone else, just do the coaching. It's beneficial. It's worth the investment. And also, I really like group classes. I did a lot of group classes when I was really getting back into voiceover as my main focus. And I met so many people. It was a great networking opportunity. And you learn so much by watching other people perform and just kind of brainstorming with people. And that can be beneficial in a different way than one-on-one coaching. With one-on-one coaching, you can really dive deep into your specific situation and your needs. But in a group class, you might be opened up to issues that someone else is having that you haven't encountered yet, but you can still learn from their experience. So I think just taking those classes, getting the voiceover classes, getting the acting background, those are improvisation is another skill that I think is really important. Those are probably the main things. And then secondary to that, I would say the editing, engineering, that type of skill you also need to have at this point.
Wow, that's true. Wow, that sounds like a lot of brain power you need to be a voiceover. I think that's probably harder than just walking in, doing an audition, booking the part.
Yeah.
Whoa, that's very, very complicated. Now, what are some, we talked about briefly this earlier, but maybe you could add one or two more. What are some common misconceptions about the voiceover industry?
I think the biggest one that I see is people thinking if they have a good voice, they will be a good voice actor. And that's
Yeah.
not necessarily the case. So you can have a beautiful, really nice tone in your speaking voice and still not be the best voice actor without the training. I mean, it's like having a Ferrari and you don't know how to drive it. It's you got to learn how to drive it properly if you want to really enjoy it. And, you know what I mean? So you need to still put in that work. And people also think, oh, it's easy. It's just reading, but it's not. It's so much more than that. As we've discussed, it's the business, it's the tech side, it's that acting, the performance, embodying those characters, differentiating characters so that the listener can follow along. And it's just a lot more complex, I think, than people realize. And I think that's definitely the biggest misconception I've seen.
Yeah, I mean, how many times have we heard people who are not in the entertainment industry, like family and friends back somewhere, and they see all the actors, and here's what I used to hear my cousin say, oh, that's so easy. I could do that. I could play that role. Why the hell is that? I could rap. I can sing. I can dance. And they think that they could do it. They think they can do it. Then their asses get on American Idol, and then they find out, no, you cannot, right? My friend Michael Orland was musical director of American Idol for 16 seasons, and I said, wow. Why did they have so many people on there that couldn't sing? How the hell did they make it past the auditions? And he said, Priscilla, that's the best part of the show. We don't want to see everybody who can sing. We want to hear the people who are horrible. That's what makes great television. But I thought, oh, that's so sad, because they would get up there and sing. Because what happens, Heather, as you well know, you may think that you are the best singer, the best little actor in your hometown, and you're like this big fish in this little pond, and then you come to LA or New York or Chicago, and then you find out, what? But my mother said I was really good. Why are you saying I can't sing or act or dance or model? And, you just have to really constantly regulate yourself. And don't blow smoke up your ass, because it's just not going to be true. I mean, don't be negative about your skills, but don't think you're the best, because there's always somebody better, no matter who you are. Woo! Yeah. Yes.
Well, I think there's a fine line between confidence and arrogance. And I think you have to have the confidence to go for it.
Right.
But without being so arrogant to think that you don't need any help or that you don't have anything to learn. I've been teaching voiceover now for several years. I still take classes. I still coach. There's always something that I can improve on. And I'm always saying, if there's a coach out there who says, oh, I don't take coaching anymore, I'm past that. Like, that's not who you probably want to work with, because that's not the attitude to have in this career.
Yes. I have a celebrity friend who tells me, she said, Priscilla, if you stop taking classes, even though you may reach the A-list status, you should always take classes, always. I mean, of course, she said, I can't go out and take a class on
Sure.
Sunset Boulevard, but I have them come to my house.
Right.
But I'm always learning. It's such a competitive market, as I think any industry is really, but you got to fight. You got to have the eye of the tiger, Heather.
That's
the
right.
eye of the tiger. So let's move on to some fun questions. I
Okay.
was thinking, okay, what would Heather say to this? All right, if you could voice any character from a classic movie, who would it be and why?
I probably would pick Belle, or Ariel. Belle or Ariel, because those are like my two favorites.
Yeah.
And I mean, who doesn't want to be a Disney princess? I mean, that would be the
I
ultimate
know.
goal, you know?
Right. Oh my God. Yes. Yes. You know, I have a movie. First of all, one of my favorite comedic actresses, and a lot of people don't know who she is. I'm shocked. Her name is Lake Bell.
Yeah.
And she did a movie, which I said, I want to watch this before I interview Heather because I want to write some questions down. But it's a movie, I think it's called Voice, and it's about her as a struggling voiceover actress. Did you see it? You know what I'm talking about? Okay.
I remember that coming out. I need to watch that. I'm going to add that to my
I'm
list.
going to watch it as soon as we get off this interview because now I feel motivated to watch it. But it's about her. She's a struggling voiceover actress, and she comes out, I think, to LA or New York. I can't remember.
Sure.
And I bet it's going to be a comedy because she is just brilliant at comedy. But I think that's really the only movie about being a voiceover actress. So we need more of those. Now, what's the funniest or most unusual direction that you received from a director or someone that was in charge?
I had a session one time that was a corporate session, and it was with a gentleman who was very lovely, but very clearly had never worked with like an actor before and didn't really speak that language. And it was a very techie kind of company. And so I think the artist side was just kind of out of his comfort zone. And he kept giving me directions like, let's just do it again. Just like more.
Oh,
More
actors hate that.
more what? More what?
Yeah.
Just like more energy, or like I don't know, just do it again. Just do more.
More. Yeah, you'd rather have someone line read rather than just say more. Line read for me. I'd rather have that. Wow.
Yeah. So that was a tricky one. That was a tricky session, but we got it done. We got there in the end.
Yeah. Okay. So have you ever found yourself using a character's voice in your everyday life by accident?
Oh, all the time with my kids, especially. You know, I'll go in and out, and we read every night too to my kids. So I'm always doing voices when I'm reading them bedtime stories. But yeah, when I'm playing with my kids, or we're like doing dinosaurs, and I'm like, rah, you know, like, especially when they were little. Now they're too cool for that. But but they, you know, I do it all the time, especially with my kids. So they've been really helpful actually with my career, because they've reminded me to be playful and let go and just have that freedom to create. And, you know, just kind of not my tendency sometimes with doing so much corporate work is to be very perfect and eloquent. And you have to kind of let that go sometimes when you're creating characters. And they've really reminded me of that.
And they are going to realize when they're adults how cool it was to have a mother like you who did all these voices.
I hope.
They're gonna, you know, and now they're probably at the stage or getting into the teen state. Well, they're 8, but at 8, they're like 14.
Right?
Right. And so now they're going to think they're too cool to have their mother do the voices. But when they
still
get
like it.
older, they're going to say, oh, I had the best mother ever. She used to do all the voices, and I was so lucky. Now, what is the most, now, you know, as an actor, you have to do voice, well, at least I did. You have to do vocal warm-up exercises, right? So especially if you're an actor, especially if you're in theater, that's normal. when I first moved out here, because I was on the East Coast and I used to direct theater, and it's very common to do what's called energy circles.
Yeah.
Well, when I came out here, I got hired to direct down in Hermosa Beach at the Hermosa Beach Civic Theater. What was it? I want to say a Shana Madel. What was it? A Shana Madel, which is a Jewish play.
Cool.
And I said, okay, so we're going to start with our energy circles. And they looked at me like I was crazy. Most of them didn't even know what an energy circle was. And the one girl who did, she said, we do all of our exercises in the car. I said, well, you know what? You're in a theater and you're going to be doing them in a theater right now. So my question is, what's the most ridiculous vocal warm-up exercise you've ever done? I used to love them, Heather. La, 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 la. Even though I can't sing, I love to do the la-las and the...
Totally. Oh my gosh, I did so many growing up in musical theater, like red leather, yellow leather, red leather, yellow leather to like get your lips moving. And then energy, of course, I know the energy circle. Probably my favorite one is the trills. So it's you do like and it just kind of opens up your voice.
I love that. Yeah. And it's so relaxing too. Yeah.
Those are my favorites.
My God, I love it. Oh, see, we are on the same page. Now, do you have a favorite vocal impersonation that you just love to perform?
Oh man, I don't do a lot of impersonations. I feel like I can voice match. Like my husband calls me a parrot. So like if I hear certain people, I can mimic them. Like Reese Witherspoon, I feel like I can mimic pretty well. Like in Sweet Home Alabama, it's like my favorite movie of all time, and I can just go right into it and like quote the entire movie.
Yeah, do it. Do a little Reese.
Oh my gosh, I'm trying to think of one of my favorite lines from that movie. Well, he says, she's like, what do you want to marry me for anyhow? And he's like, so I can kiss you anytime I want. And it's so cute. But no, I've done like in classes and stuff, like practice voice matching with her. I just love her so much. I like the type of voiceover I do is more like my voice or variations of my voice. I mean, I do animation and stuff too, but impersonations is such an incredible skill that I just don't really possess.
Oh yeah. I mean
I can do some, but
it's
that's
hard.
not
Oh my God. Do you know what I did one time, Heather? So one of my friends is okay, so Jim Meskimen, I told you about him. His mom is okay. So I called him up and I said, I want to do a show where I do a scene from my favorite Christmas movie, which is It's a Wonderful Life. And I said, do you have anybody, because he has students that he teaches impressions. And he said, I got this guy named Ryan Gosher. He is phenomenal. He's blah, 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 blah. You got to have him on the show. So I said, oh, well, that would be perfect. Now I just have to think, who the heck would I come on and what scene? Then I remembered that one of my friends is John Barrymore the third. So it's John Barrymore. These are like, he's like a scion. You know who the Barrymores were. Okay. So he's like a scion of the Barrymore family. So I said, okay, I'm going to have John come on and I'm going to have Ryan come on and I'm going to do the scene from It's a Wonderful Life. So it was so cool, Heather, having John Barrymore, who his uncle, I believe it's his uncle or grandfather, was in It's a Wonderful Life, who was Mr. Potter. And then I had Ryan doing the voice of, who the heck did? Who the heck is the guy that's the star of It's a Wonderful Life? I can't even remember now. Jimmy Stewart. Stewart.
Yes.
And I had him do the impressions. It was, oh my God. Was so hard though. And they both told me that doing being a voiceover actor and doing, the narration and they couldn't do it. They couldn't do it. I said, but you do celebrity impressions. They said it's a whole different animal, and I've never forgotten that. And now you're telling me the same thing.
Yeah. I mean, it's so impressive. I love listening to people do that. I just know my limits, and I know that there are people so much better at that than me. So I'm going to leave that to them. I'm going to leave that to
the
the
next time Jim has a show, I'm going to invite you and your husband to come.
That'd be so fun.
He always has celebrities. Nancy always comes. You can meet her.
Cool. Yeah.
Okay. So what is, I guess, it's coming. Okay. I asked you this earlier. Can you create a new, this is me having a new character come to life, a quirky character voice to do for us on the spot, somebody you've never done before. Can you give us a sample?
You know, the type of character that I love to do is like the Southern character, because it just comes so natural to me.
Naturally.
Maybe I'll just be a real hick and say, hey, it's election day tomorrow. Let's go USA, America. Go America. You know what I mean? I can pull out there West Virginia. Let's go see some NASCAR.
Oh my God, I love it. Yeah, because you are from West Virginia.
Yeah.
I would imagine you can go into that southern accent flawlessly.
Yep.
Now, who are we going to call our southern character? We're going to call her Reba.
I like Reba.
I like Reba McEntire, so I'm going to call her Reba M. Oh my God. Now, which animated character would you want to switch lives with for a day? Like if you could really be an animated character, just one day.
Oh, such a good question. I would probably say
it's got to be Belle or Ariel.
I was gonna say probably Belle. And I just love like the library. I just want to like spend the day in that library and have the furniture bring me tea and things.
Yes, the little candlestick. Oh,
Lumiere. Yeah, that would be so fun.
Oh, yeah, that's good. Now, if you were to create your own animated series, what would it be about, and what character would you voice?
I would love something focused on twins, because I don't think there's a lot of shows out there that have a lot of twins in them. And as a mom of twins, I would love to play the mom of twins. I think that would be so fun. But
Full House too.
Maybe yes. Oh, Full House, my favorite show. Maybe like we're monsters or something. Like I don't want to just be like a mom of twins, because like that's what I do every day.
No.
But maybe we're like cool monsters with twins.
Yeah. Like
That would be fun.
Transylvania monsters.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that would be good.
That would be so fun. So fun, darling.
Would you ever think about maybe branching out to create your own, maybe a little web series, maybe a 5-minute short, and maybe do an animated series?
Yeah, I mean it's definitely something I would love to get into.
You should do it.
Yeah, it's figuring out. There's so many moving pieces. It's intimidating, but I think, you know what? I think you're inspiring me to
do it.
Just
I mean,
go for
you've
it.
already got all the talent. You can be all the actors. You got all the studio equipment to do it.
Yeah.
Right? The only thing I can see you needing to find is a person to do the graphics and drawing.
An animator. Yeah.
And you come up with a story, and it could be about the twins.
Yeah.
What are the twins going to do in 5 minutes that's going to really capture the attention? You know, think about that, because you're more than capable of doing it. And now I just thought you should do it.
I love it. Thank you. This is good.
Let me know if you do it. Now, what is your favorite part about being a voice actress? I mean, just one part. There's so many good things.
There's so many. It's that I literally have wanted. I'm not exaggerating when I say I've wanted to be an actor since I was 3 years old. I get to do that every single day and still be present with my family. I think the flexibility of it is what is my favorite part, because being a mom is so important to me. I want to be a great mom to my boys, and but having the ability to still have this creative outlet and fulfill this passion that I've had for my entire life, it's just such a blessing. I'm so grateful every single day that I get to do this, and that flexibility is just incredible.
Now, we know your skills and what you're capable of, but what we don't know, Heather, do you have some secret talent that nobody knows about?
I could
Only
wiggle
a
my
few
ears.
people know about it.
I could wiggle my ears. Hold on. Let me see if I can show you.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Oh, my God, you did it! You wiggled your ear! Ah! I love it!
It's so
That's a
dumb.
secret talent. You can just, I mean, no matter what question I ask you, you can just do it. You just lay it down, knock it out. Wow. Oh my God. Okay. So voice acting for cartoon and video games. Which do you prefer and why? And have you done both?
I have worked in animation. I actually have 2 animated films coming out this year. One of them just premiered at Comic-Con in San Diego over the summer. It's called Isla Monstro. So keep an eye out for that. I play a newscaster, which is so much fun. And then the other one is called Book of Joshua. It actually has its first screening in a couple of weeks. And so I love working in animation. I have done a little bit in video games, but honestly, that's not an area that I've been pursuing as much. I kind of prefer animation personally. Video games are tough. They require very specific skills in terms of what's called efforts. And a lot of video games have, fight scenes or
Yeah.
all of those things. And that's fun, but that tends to strain my voice a little bit. And it's I'm probably doing something incorrectly that I need some more training on in that area. But at the moment, animation, I love getting to embody those characters. It's such a dream. I did a dubbing job the other day, which is really fun too, on an animated series. And which dubbing is when they take a series that was originally in another language and then they're dubbing the lines into English. And just seeing your voice coming out of an animated character is so cool. Like, it doesn't get old. I don't think that'll ever get old.
Wow. Especially if it is a beloved character, like if it's an anime character and you're dubbing it in English.
Yeah.
That's gotta be great.
Yeah.
Wow. Or a famous, even a movie, like if it's what was the girl in the spider's web or the dragon? I think that's been dubbed maybe, I think they said in 15 countries.
Wow.
So imagine doing that character.
Yeah.
Woo, that would be great. Oh,
so
my God.
cool.
Now, if you could, we only got a couple questions and then we are going to be done.
Okay.
Oh, wait a minute. He said, we haven't shown her acting reel. Okay. So we'll ask her these questions and we'll do the acting reel. Okay. So if you could only use one character's voice for the rest of your life, which one would it be?
The one that comes easiest to me is probably somewhere up here, like the fairy voice. I don't know why, but this just comes really easy. When I was the voice of the doll company that I talked about for 7 years that I did for a long time, it was kind of in that vein where it was like, introducing blah, blah, blah. Like, these are your new best friends. And it's just so easy for me. I don't know why.
It sounds like Barbie, like Barbie. Yeah, that would have been great. You and but they didn't have any animation. That was a full movie. But yeah, the Barbie commercials. It sounds like you'd be perfect to do that.
That sounds great.
God, let's cast you right now. Do you prefer working on projects where you can see the character animation first, or creating the voice and then seeing the character come to life?
It's a little bit less pressure, honestly, when they don't have the animation done yet. It's nice to have a reference if they have even just a picture of what it's going to look like. But when you have animation already finalized and you have to match that pacing, you have to match the lip movements, that's just a lot of additional things to think about technically. And it makes it more difficult to focus on the performance versus if you're doing the voiceover first and they're animating to your voice, which typically is how it's done these days. You have more freedom. and it's a little bit less pressure. So if I were going to choose, I would probably pick not having the animation and just having some kind of reference photo to go off of to create that character.
Oh, that makes sense. Now, this SOVAS, Society of Voice Arts and Scientists, I had never heard of it before because I'm not in the voice world.
Sure.
But how does one become nominated? Who nominates you?
You can nominate yourself, or people that you've worked with can nominate projects that you've worked on together. So on their website, they have a submission kind of portal. So you can go on and submit work. There are requirements for each genre. And so you can just kind of read through there. It's typically it opens up in like the spring or summer for the following December is usually when the awards are. So they're coming up on December 9th. So I'm so excited. Just get all dressed up. So fun.
Yeah. Oh, are you going to an actual venue?
Yeah, it's at the
gonna be-
Beverly Hilton.
Oh,
So
wow.
they do it up right. It's fancy. It's
Oh
fun.
my God, that's so exciting because you're nominated. Oh my
Yeah.
God, I would be like sitting there. And the nominations for, and what category? That was for Islam Monstro? Is that
Oh,
what you-
this one, the nomination is for e-learning.
Oh, hold on a
and-
second. That's the guy, Connor, I can't pronounce your last name.
Hi, Connor.
He's the one I was telling you about that wants to become the voiceover actor, and he thinks you're so
Awesome.
phenomenal. So what do you have to say to Connor?
Connor, welcome. Thanks for joining us. And yeah, if you have questions, feel free to reach out to me. You can go to my website, heathernicholsvo.com. I have all my contact info there. And yeah, if you need any help kind of getting your business off the ground, I would love to help you. And I also have a lot of free resources on my YouTube channel and on my TikTok. So I have lots of fun tips and tricks and things that I've learned along the way on both of those platforms. So there's some free info for you.
Neither can I. Okay. Well, Heather, do I have permission to give him? Do you prefer him to go through the website or email you or?
Yeah, either one. Either one's fine. So heather@heathervo.com is my email. Or you can fill out the contact form on my website. My email address is there as well. Whatever's easiest.
And you have one-on-one coaching, and that's heathernicholscoaching.com.
Correct.
Oh, Manny says 100% matching with Melissa Rauch in Big.
Love her.
Which one was Melissa? Was she the
blonde.
one with that really high voice?
Yeah, she's the one that kind of talks like this.
Yes, she was. Who was she the girlfriend of? Howard? Was it
Howard.
Howard?
Yes.
Howard. Oh, now, wait a minute, Heather. Hold on, girl. Can you do Howard's mother? Howard!
Oh my God. So
That
funny.
was a hard voice, right? Howard! Oh my God, she was always screaming. Why do you take the calls? I can't even do it. It's just, but I just live to hear her screaming.
So funny.
Offset, right? And
Yeah.
we never saw her. I still to this day, I know she died, but I don't know what she looked like, but she was everything to me in The Big Bang Theory. I loved her. She was one of my favorite characters.
Yeah.
What was Melissa's character's name on The Big Bang Theory? Not Penny.
No.
Yeah, Penny.
The other one.
You had the one that was with Sheldon. Can't remember her character name.
Bernadette.
Bernadette. That's who it was, Bernadette. I love her. And she died like that. It was so nasally. And I wonder if that was a character voice or if that's her real voice. Do you by any chance know? Or?
Yeah, it's definitely a character that she created. She's so
wow.
talented. She's such a great actress. I love her so much.
Wow. I see now. I want to know what she really sounds like. Okay, so Connor, you got it. Heather is heathernicholscoaching.com, and she does one-on-one coaching. Or you can go to heathernicholsvo.com, or you can text me, and I will send her. I will forward her your cell phone, and she can call you directly to get you all set up. Now, you said okay. Connor, Heather, you're gonna love him.
Yay.
Funniest, he is so funny, and I met him through a mutual friend last year, and we just hit it off. I said Connor is, and of course he's got the Irish name, so I'm Irish, he's Irish, so we had
Me
that
too.
sort of bond. Are you Irish? I didn't even know.
I was just in Ireland 2 weeks ago.
You were? Oh my God. What did you do over there?
I actually went to a voiceover conference in Dublin for the first week, and it was amazing. It was through J. Michael Collins, JMC Demos. He's amazing. And it had all these different coaches like Tina Marasco, Dave Walsh, Tom Pinto, all these great people in the industry. And it was a really small group of about 25 voice actors who came in from all over the world. And we had really intense coaching for a week. And it was so much fun. Then my husband came over and we took a little tour. And little did I know, but my birthday is coming up in a week or a week and a half. He flew in 7 of my best friends from all over the country to surprise me. And we did a little tour of Scotland and Ireland.
Whoa! Oh my God! He's the best husband.
I know.
Wow. Now, what sign is he? Because I'm into astrology.
He's an Aries.
Oh, wow. Now, mine's November 12th. Is yours the 19th?
15th.
15th. I know it was 15. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. But, because my husband's a Pisces, so he just slipped out of that. Is he a March Pisces, Aries, or a
April
Pisces? They're fiery little guys. I find him to be quite sexy. I got to look him up.
Right?
Now, so you're saying that you're nominated. Are you nominated for Isla Monstro? Which one are you nominated for?
So it's for e-learning for Visa. And so if any of you are business owners out there watching and you use the Visa analytics platform, I voiced like 30 something tutorials for them over the last year or so. And it's one of those that got nominated, which is so much fun. So it's kind of explaining how that platform works.
Oh, you're going to win. You're going to win. I'm going to send the vibes out. Heather. Now, you had, on the promotional topics, you had said that you wanted to talk about the audio release of the Sky Club. What's that?
Yeah. Sky Club is a book that just came out over the summer. It's an audiobook that I was fortunate to narrate and produce. And it was by Terry Roberts. Came out in July. And it's just a really, really great historical fiction book. It takes place in North Carolina. And it's really well written. And I just really recommend it. And then I actually have a couple more that either have come out or about to come out. One is called Long Time Gone, and that just came out 2 weeks ago. And it's by Hannah Martian. It's a really great mystery. So if you like mysteries with like twists and turns, it's like Hannah did such an incredible job writing this. And it really keeps you on the edge of your seat the whole book. I loved it so much. I had the best time working on that. And then I have the first book in my series coming out on the 12th, actually, on your birthday. So it's called A Twist of Demon.
A twist of demon.
Yeah.
Thumb up to you too, Albert Bico. Wait a minute. A twist of demon. Oh, wonder what that's about.
So
I love that title.
That's the first book in that Cocktails in Hell series. So it's kind of like fantasy kind of genre.
Is this written all by the same person?
No, this is a different one. So the series is all written by an author named S.E. Babin. And it's really well written. It's so fun. So check those out.
Where would we get Amazon, Audible?
Yeah, they're all on Audible. Mm-hmm.
Okay, did we go Amazon.com?
Audible.com or the app.
Audible.com. Okay, and you can purchase them, and then you can play them on any of your devices, right? Oh, I love that. I'm going to treat myself on November 12th with that Twist of Demon, because I'm all about those. Now, what about the Conquest of Canaan?
Oh, so that is actually the one that's that's an animated feature, and they have changed the name since I sent you that. So it's now called Book of Joshua.
Okay.
And it is an animated feature. It's coming out. Well, we're having the kind of friends and family screening in December, and then I believe it's going to come out early in 2025. So keep an eye on my social media, and I'll be posting about that once they kind of solidify the release date.
Yeah, and is the screening going to be at a theater, or you're just having it at your?
Yeah, it's at a theater in Santa Monica.
Send me the invite. We're gonna come. We'll come there and support it.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, so now is the exciting time to see the very last demo reel of Heather Nichols. This is going to be her acting demo reel. So we're going to check that out. And when we come back, we're just going to find out all of her website and social media platforms before we say goodnight to her. So without further ado, let's watch Heather Nichols on camera.
Kids, your Uncle Barney have been called a lot of names over the years.
Bastard. Hey, can we get 2 kamikazes?
Yo! Hey, what's up? Oh, it's working! It's actually... Oh! All right. You got me wet. How about I return the favor? John? Nice. Oh! It's a director. Oh.
I'm a little confused. Are you sure you're in the right place? Yeah. Okay, the thing is, this is actually a callback for a children's multivitamin, so we're just seeing under 9s for this one. So. Well, I play 8 to 21. That's terrific, but this part is for a boy. So if you could... I can play a boy. It's easy. I have a little brother back home, so... Okay, you know what? Let's just do this.
And the first night after Rush, they totally took a 180, and before I knew it, they were screaming in my face, telling me I wasn't good enough for Kappa, and that I should just go back home where I came from and hang myself. Worst of all, they made me wrestle the other girls in mud and drink until I blacked out. They like really wanted me to leave. So I did.
Sweetie, you know that they were just pledging you, right?
What's that?
Oh, is that GTA 5?
Yeah. Wait, how'd you know that?
Beat my last mission a few days ago.
This game came out last week.
I know. I went on a 12-hour tear. Unpause it. Oh, the Sparks mission. You're driving the wrong direction. You need to hang a left on Moore Street, hijack the chrome sports car, the one that looks like the new Lamborghini Roadster, blow up the gas station, rob the convenience store, and decapitate the cult leader with the machete. Have you found the machete yet?
Oh my God, I love it.
Okay, you know what? Delta Omega Gamma is for serious people who have serious jobs and want to seriously network. Like, seriously. So you can just take your little Pokemon cards and go back to your gross Psychi Pie brothers!
Yeah, we can't protect you if we don't know what's going on.
He said if I talked to anybody, he'd kill Lori. If I keep my mouth shut, she'll be safe.
Where are they?
I don't know. The last text she sent was from a gas station in El Paso 3 days ago.
I see your date has arrived. Please let me know if you need anything else.
Thanks for giving me a ride.
Whatever. I had to pick Ash up anyway.
What's up? Shotgun.
Hey. Well? Hey, stud.
Hey, baby.
Hey, did you hear about the backwards dance this Friday? The girls asked the guys. You need a date. And as our token straight friend, we want to live vicariously through you in your search for the right guy. Anyway, I have someone in mind.
Who?
No.
Valentine murdered her father after he molested her and beat her mother senseless. She shot him with his own gun while he slept. Then, she killed her mother for not doing anything earlier.
Hi, I was afraid you couldn't find the place. A lot of people...
Actually, can I use your bathroom?
Sure. Is everything all right?
You can be this rich. Play the Washington Lottery and win millions in cash prizes.
We're not going anywhere until our demands are met!
Hello, Jimmy John's?
Who ordered Jimmy John's?
Jimmy John's, America's sandwich delivery experts.
All right, guys, you know him, you love him. I am here with the driver of Gravedigger, Dennis Anderson himself. Dennis, how excited are you going into this weekend with both your sons competing as well?
Hey guys, Heather Nichols here at Wizard World in Las Vegas, where we have a lot of exciting things going on today.
Make sure if you have a question for your favorite driver, tweet them to us at Monster Jam on Twitter, and we'll get some answers for you. We just talked to Tom Mentz, so check out what he's looking forward to this weekend. Heather Nichols here with the winningest Monster Jam driver in history, Mr. Tom Mentz, driver of Max D. Tom, congratulations on an amazing year for Team Max D. How do you plan to carry that momentum into the World Finals this weekend?
Great teammates, Neil Elliott, Morgan Kane, and myself. You know, we're here to make a statement. Them guys are awesome.
Just want to congratulate you, first of all. I don't know if you're aware of this, but there was a survey recently of who is the hottest one of Rory Gilmore's ex-boyfriends, and you won.
Well, how long have you had that mustache? Because it's pretty awesome.
I've had this mustache I started growing it when I was 20 years old.
Well, I heard a rumor the other day that there might be a Mallrats sequel. Is there any truth to that?
That rumor is a true rumor, yeah, Mallrats 2.
As you can see, we are in the center of the action. We are on the track right now during the Double Down party in the pits. One of the perks of having a Double Down ticket is that you actually get to walk the track and get a sneak peek before anyone else gets a look at it. Let's go check it out.
In your bodybuilding career, how did you stay so motivated to keep getting stronger?
Well, because I'm very passionate about fitness. And I want people to look at me and say, man, you're buff. I want to look just like you.
Mission accomplished.
Yeah, exactly. You got it.
Heather Nichols here with Phil Ortiz, one of the original designers, artists, animators from The Simpsons, you guys. He helped design the actual Simpsons characters.
Todd LeDuc, your reigning freestyle Monster Jam World Finals champion. Todd, how do you feel coming into this weekend?
Well, that wraps it up for us here at the first ever Wizard World Las Vegas event. Once again, I'm Heather Nichols. Thanks for joining us.
Burbank Mazda has the one you've been looking for, the fully redesigned Miata MX-5. It's got your name all over it, starting at $28,250. Burbank Mazda wants you to have a summer to remember. At Freedom Ford, we believe it's time to redefine what it means to be strong, the kind of strong that comes from unshakable confidence. Freedom Ford is more than a dealership. It's what this country was built upon. When you think of fun, shopping for a new car may not be on the top of your list. Well, think again, because Goodman Hyundai eliminates the hassle while leaving the fun stuff fully intact. Take a test drive this weekend and receive 2 tickets to a Mariners game. Okay, now that's fun. Legacy Cadillac set the bar for luxury, designed exclusively for the discerning buyer. Legacy Cadillac. Artistry, craftsmanship, and sophistication that define the Cadillac brand. The Honda Window of Opportunity event is closing fast at Mountain View Honda. Enjoy special financing rates and make no payments for 90 days. The Honda Window of Opportunity event won't stay open forever. Suggested retail price does not include taxes, fees, or license charge to well-qualified buyers on approved credit by Acura Financial Services. See your Acura dealer for details.
I cannot believe that you've done all of that since I last saw you.
I know. I've been busy, girl.
Wow. Oh my God. That was so impressive. So amazing to see you. You just have blossomed into this world. You have really, I swear you're probably the most impressive person that I can think of right now.
Thank you.
I just am blown away by your talent. You are incredibly gifted, so natural. It turns out you do know Lou Ferrigno Jr., huh? Wow! Oh
when
my
you
God!
said that, I was like, I interviewed him.
I know you interviewed Lou Ferrigno Jr. He tried to sell us. Oh my gosh! So Lou, you will not get a picture of Lou at Comic-Con, and don't try to sink one, or he'll come after your ass. But I made a mistake of going, Albert. I'll stand next to him. You can get the picture, and he would go. You couldn't get him in the frame, right? So I'm like, I'm friends with Jeff Rector, and that's a whole different story. But he's a sweet, nice man. We ended up getting to meet him, and he seems very, very, very nice and genuine. Yeah. But I was dying when you were in that scene with that girl who said she had a range of 8 to 21. As a casting director, yeah, I mean, I could imagine if that were because I've been in castings where people thought that they could play like 40 years. They have a 40-year age range. They'll be white and they think they can play African American. That's how great they think they are, or Asian, or So that was a phenomenal scene.
Too real.
I love that. Everything I saw you, it was great. And I loved you were in the scene with I can't remember what his name is, an actor, the one where you squirted the...
Oh, Adam DeVine.
Adam DeVine. I love him.
Yeah, he's fantastic.
So talented. Yeah. Oh my, but I was just so impressed nonstop. I mean, you can do commercials for cars, you can do interviews, you can do acting, comedy, you can do the mean girl. That's a hard one to do, the mean girl, because you're so sweet and nice, and you did it. Your acting chops are so effing impressive. You are super impressive. I am going to make sure that I contact all my peeps, and you have got to become a huge star. I want to be instrumental in making this happen. Like my friend Mary Lou Belli, she's a huge director, 6-time Emmy-winning director. And she just sent me an email saying she's directing one of my favorite shows, Elsbeth, which is on this Thursday. I am going to send her, what should I send her? Your comedy? Well, she does everything. She directs NCIS, so that's drama. And now she's directing. She's been nominated for 2 Emmys for the Miss Pat show. So that's comedy. What do you feel, your drama or your comedy or both? You feel I could send all of them, right?
Yeah. Oh, I would appreciate it. Yeah.
I'll send the drama and the comedy. Okay. I am going to get you on NCIS. I'm going to get you on one of the... That's it. I feel like I cannot move on to my next life, Heather, until I make this happen. You have got, that's it. That's it. That's it. You have become my project. You are now my project. I gotta make you a superstar because you have the talent. You got the business acumen. You got it all. Got it all.
I will take all the help I can get.
Yes. Well, I want to thank you so much for coming on the show, and you gave such sage advice. I'm sure that many, many people profited from it. And if they didn't get enough of you, they can go to heathernicholsvoiceover.com. Oh, that's a different one. That's a different website.
It all goes to the same place. I have like a few different URLs.
Okay. Yeah. heathernicholsvoiceover.com, HeatherNicholsVO.com. Instagram, Heather Nichols VO, Facebook, Heather Nichols Official, TikTok. I gotta go on TikTok, and I haven't been in a while. I bet your TikToks are phenomenal. Heather Nichols VO on TikTok, and you can see more of her demo reels on YouTube at Watch Heather Nichols. I'm subscribing, and I hope everybody else subscribes and becomes one of your social media friends. Yeah. You are incredible. Heather Nichols, the one, the only, my favorite voiceover actress of all times. Let's stay in touch. I'm going to definitely refer you. So be prepared to be getting some contacts.
Oh, I'm so grateful. Thank you for having me. It's so great to reconnect with you after all this time. I'm so proud of you for being on the air for this long. What an amazing accomplishment. So kudos to you.
Trying to get people to your level is what I'm doing with all of these tips, advice, and resource information. Hopefully. Thank you. And I'm just so happy that you found a man in LA. I know it's kind of hard, girl. A man, and you have 2 twins, and you're making it work. Yep. There is nothing you can't do. I'm hoping you tell me you can't cook, though.
I'm okay. I'm not.
Okay, I'll take it because you were just out of the stratosphere. Now I can say, okay, all right, she's human.
Definitely.
Okay, sweetie. Thank you so much for coming on the show. Thanks, everybody, for watching. Contact HeatherNicholsVoiceover.com. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye, guys. Thank you.
You're listening to Question Reality. Question Reality with Priscilla Leona.